How can Chase DeMoor defeat Andrew Tate this weekend? Is he actually the Matrix? We're gonna see, as he is claiming to be. But look, I've said in my prediction video, I've said in many videos covering this fight that I strongly believe that Andrew Tate will win this fight against Chase DeMoor via knockout in pretty simple fashion. But I still don't rule out the possibility of Chase DeMoor winning the fight. He can win, of course he can. He is the younger guy, he is the stronger guy, he is the bigger guy than what Andrew Tate is. So, he's got advantages over him, definitely. It's not like Tate's fighting a much smaller guy than him who is older than him. No, like, Chase DeMoor has advantages, but Andrew Tate is the way more skilled fighter. And even though Andrew Tate hasn't had a boxing fight before, he's very clearly the more skilled boxer than Chase DeMoor from what we've seen in sparring clips and everything. Much more skilled. But Chase DeMoor has power. He's been able to set up some unpredictable shots on guys, to be honest, especially recently. But he's not great technical ability wise whatsoever. He's not. He's got power and he's got size. But how does Chase Moore win is the big question. And I think it's obvious. I think, to be fair, he needs to be in the face of Andrew Tate, even though he's the bigger guy and the longer guy. I think he needs to be in the face of Andrew Tate because Tate favors straight shots a lot. He favors that jab. He favors that straight right upstairs. You know, the straight shots are what he favors. Jab downstairs, you know, big right hand upstairs. You know, he likes the 1-2. He doesn't really look for the hooks a lot, Andrew Tate. He's just pretty smart and accurate with straight shots and only really throws when he knows he's going to land. That's what I've taken out of, certain footage that Andrew Tate himself has put out there. And obviously, he's not going to have wanted to put everything out there, but there's a lot on him. There's a lot on him from a lot. Of many times, even before this fight was announced, there was a lot of just pure boxing stuff on Andrew Tate. So we're not talking about what we've seen from him in kickboxing at all. This is just what we've seen from him in boxing. And he likes the straight shots. He likes to keep it long, which could be more difficult here, but I feel like he will look to find the range and will look to get those straight shots going. Chase DeMoor can't let that happen. He's got to be in the face of Tate. And I feel like it would probably work best for him. I think if Chase DeMoor tries to keep Andrew Tate at range in the fight, then he's screwed. So he needs to get in the face, and you know, I wouldn't say invite pressure because that's not a good thing at all. Because Tate would just back him up on the ropes, get at his right range, and land his straight shots. Chase DeMoor needs to be the one on the front foot, putting that pressure on Tate, constantly coming forward. He needs to accept the fact he's gonna get hit here, and he does carry his shin ridiculously high. But he needs to accept the fact he's gonna take some shots. He's gonna have to take shots in order to win this fight. You know, that's the thing. He's gonna have to take a lot of big shots to get to where he wants to be and shut down that full extension in Andrew Tate's work. That's exactly what he needs to do here. And yeah, if he can back Andrew Tate up on the ropes, I feel like that puts him in a very uncomfortable position. I don't think he wants to be backed up at all. We've seen, again, it's only what is being put out there, but we've seen when smaller guys back Andrew Tate up, he's he's not overly comfortable fighting off the ropes. Not overly comfortable, again, when these are the smaller guys that we've seen who have to shut the range down against him. And imagine what could happen if a bigger guy like Chase DeMoor shuts down that range against Andrew Tate and backs him up against the ropes. What could he do? Because Andrew Tate is not fully comfortable on the ropes. He's not. He's comfortable centering, picking your shots, and trying to back you up. So that's what Chase Moore needs to do. And the guy is strong enough to try and keep Andrew Tate there. Whether he has the skills set to be able to do that and knows how to keep a guy on the ropes is a completely different thing. It's not something that we've seen loads of though from Chase DeMoor. You know, we need to base it off what he can do with his actual skill set, looking at it. But he can shut down range, and and Chase DeMoor can fight up close. But Chase DeMoor, to be fair, he can be at his best at times when he is on the back foot. That is where he can find his sneaky shots, sneaky power shots through. But I think Chase DeMoor backing up on the back foot in this fight against Andrew Tate is probably the worst thing for him to do. I just don't think it will work well because Tate's not gonna want this fight up close whatsoever. He's not. It's not his game, and he's smarter than all these guys that Chase DeMoor has been up against. Way smarter. A lot of the guys that have been up against Chase DeMoor just aren't overly experienced, or they just have that body build like Tempo Arts who just need some big hooks in up close. You know, he hasn't Chaseable hasn't seen a style like Andrew Tate before, so it is very different. So I think it's much more unlikely this time round against Andrew Tate that Chase DeMoor can just find the shot off the back foot. I just don't really see that being a possibility. He needs to be pushing forward constantly. He needs to be. But we haven't seen him get properly hit. Andrew Tate's, a way more experienced fighter than Chase DeMoor. You know, Andrew Tate can Andrew Tate can just throw a way better shot, a way more peach of a shot, a way more accurate shot, a way more better time shot than what influencers can on Chase DeMoor. Chase DeMoor has been hit like how Andrew Tate is likely going to hit him. So this is why he needs to be coming forward. But again, like there are still risks of it, but he just needs to make sure that his chin is fully able to hold up, and he needs to make sure that he's been sparring with a lot of, you know, straight punch guys. That's what he needs. Long range, straight shot guys. That's what Chase Moore has needed in sparring, and if that is the case, then he could be in for some luck here. But he needs to make it messy, and he needs the cardio. But it's going to be difficult to have against Andrew Tate. But I believe the big thing he needs to do is be pushing forward. But again, there's a chance he needs to use his size. He needs to use his size. He needs to favour it, clinch in this fight. It's going to be difficult. But again, he needs to be on that front foot. He needs to use the ropes, and he needs to keep Andrew Tate there. And I think that is a big thing he needs to do in order to get the victory and land a big shot straight away to get the respect of Andrew Tate. But again, he's the more active guy, so something could happen here.